Hey everyone, Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Forward Finds. Today we're doing a little something different. I'm out here waiting for an estate sale. It should start in 5, 6, 7 minutes. Anyways, I like going to estate sales. I don't often go because I don't like leaving the house, and I honestly don't need stuff. I got plenty of stuff in the house to list at the moment. However, I do like looking at what the estate sales are going to have. And unfortunately, this one has albums of postcards, has a paperweight collection. I don't own any glass paperweights, but I do appreciate them, so it would be nice to at least look at them. And they also have rocks. So here I am, and this happens to be one of my favorite local estate companies. I've only dealt with a couple, but this one I've had good luck with paper in the past. I've never bought postcards from them, so I don't know what their prices are going to be like on day one for albums of postcards, but it's worth coming out to take a look. But after this, they have an estate sale closer to home at a school, an elementary school that's closing. So I was looking at the images for that, and there's, desks and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of kids' books and toys and educational materials, globes, anything you can think of that's in an elementary school, they have there. They got bikes, they got baseball bats and hockey sticks, all the things. I don't know that I'll find anything there either, but I think it would be just kind of interesting to go look around. So I'll have to see what the prices are there. I might pick up a few little interesting science ephemera or a couple books to toss up somewhere. But yeah, despite the fact that I'm throwing my face up on YouTube a few times a week, I'm not exactly a person who likes being stared at. So I don't know what type of filming I will do inside the sale. I might just get a little bit of B-roll with me out not talking and then summarize afterwards. But yeah, here we go. Alright, so as you can see, I am no longer in my car at the estate sale, wearing a different shirt. It's the next day. It's been an interesting weekend. So I went into the estate sale, the one that had all the postcards, and they had a bunch of albums, like the small photo albums. One second. Ones like this, they got the little sleeves in there. Spoiler. So they had a bunch of those, and they had some bigger ones as well. But they wanted $100 per album at open, which maybe not the worst deal, but it was certainly not what I was looking to pay. But so I kind of peeked at him for a bit, and then went around the sale. He had a room that was floor to ceiling, all the way around books. This individual must have been quite the collector. A lot of interest. He had history, obviously postcards. He had books about postcards, all about different types of music. Apparently, he wasn't a Bach fan. There was one woman who was looking for books, saw all these different books about different music, but not a single one about Bach, which she was very disappointed about. So, everyone's a critic, I suppose. A lot of rocks. I passed on those. They wanted, I think they were looking around $50 for the geode sets, and I don't need them. Certainly not at that price. Not saying it's a bad deal. I just don't need them. And yeah, so they had tons and tons of books. And in the book room, they had 4 flats on the floor of paper, mostly greeting cards, Hallmark cards and associated brands, and they're all unused, all of them unused, and there were postcards tucked in, old maps, road maps, geological maps, and other random kind of bits and bobbins and so on. So I went up to the estate sale guy and I was like, "How much for all of the paper, all of the flats of greeting cards?" And he kind of looked at them and he threw $100 at me. Then I said, "Okay, I'll think about it," and I kept shopping. And I talked with Nanette over at Flipping Roo, and a lot of the greeting cards in there are some of the ones you get for free in the mail. They're trying to get you to donate to the Sierra Club or uh, whatever association. And greeting cards, I do sell them. I don't sell them every week because I don't have a ton listed. But I do sell them every month, a few each month, and you know, I list them typically like my postcard price is $5.49, $5.99. I rarely go too much higher. They're not really something I can comp out. They're not necessarily a collector's item, um, but I can offer them with the free shipping cheaper than if you go to the Hallmark or grocery store to pick up a card. So I usually pick them up at estate sales because usually they're a tossin and they don't even notice them. But with four flats, that's not a tossin. So I was like, all right, I don't need them. I have some other greeting cards I could still list. I got plenty of other stuff. I'll pass. So as I'm looking around, the guy comes back to me. So have you thought about the cards? And it's like I don't think I'll do them. Whatever. He's like, well, what were you thinking? Like, where were you at? And I always hate those questions. I don't like making decisions. I don't like disappointing people, even if there's someone I don't know. I was like, honestly, I was more around like $50. Um, it's like, well, how about 60? Okay, fine. I'll do it. So I took that. I'm not gonna flip through them all, but I'll show you um, broadly what I have. But it's definitely like I don't know. I filled a whole banker's box, as you'll see, with greeting cards. Um, the banker's box are the greeting cards that have an envelope, and then I have another stack of I don't know 60 or 70, 50, 60, 70. I cannot estimate, which will be sort of a moral of this whole thing. I'm bad at estimating. But anyways, I've got a ton of cards. Ton of greeting cards. It'll take me a while to list. I'm going to have to come up with a new inventory system for them because prior I've sort of listed greeting cards as I got them from estate sales, put them in, a lot, a bag, or whatever, and stuck them in one of my baker's boxes that are located, and that was good enough. But now that I'm into the hundreds, that system's not going to work anymore. I'm going to have to go with a SKU system, and then find a way of organizing them so I can grab them quickly enough when they sell. There are also a lot of postcard sets in there. I don't know if they're from Japan or China, but Asian postcards anyway. So I'll show you those as well. So um, I also had picked up a lot of loose photos, some loose postcards, things like that, as I was walking around the house, and got a little sticker shock when I brought those up to the counter. They wanted $100 for that. I decided to bite the bullet and take those as well. I think I'll do fine. I just in the past when I've gone to the sale or this estate sale company, I would have gotten this for like $30. But I usually go day two, or well, no, I've gone day one a few times. But whatever. It is what it is. They named the price. I don't think it was unreasonable. This is the first time I've dealt with this particular individual for pricing, so he seems to be a bit more look through the items and come up with a price. Where in the past it's been like, oh, you got a box full of paper, here you go. So I'll show you that. I'll show you that today. I will show you. I'll give you a little glimpse of the greeting cards. Um, but the postcards. So as I was leaving, I said, "Why don't I leave you my number? If you still have postcards on the last day, which was today, let me know. Maybe we can work out a deal." So they called me the just before the show opened, and they said, "All right, what were you thinking on a price?" I'm not going to get into the numbers for this now because it was a bit of money. Um, and I kind of want to work through things a bit more. Um, and I'll reveal it to you at some point when I am ready. But I did count. I had about 68 albums. Again, most of them about this size, some bigger, and there was a couple smaller ones that they didn't even count in the price. They just tossed them in because they were small. But in the end, it came out to 6,794 pieces. I'll just leave it at pieces. It's 99% postcards, but there are some first day covers, some individual photos, and some other little pieces of paper as well. Um, awesome. This is the biggest haul I've ever done. It's a bit overwhelming, a little bit stressed, um, but I think there's good stuff in there. I only did a cursory look through as I was counting to see what my final count was and get my cost per item price. Um, but I think there's quite a few $15 to $20 cards, maybe even better. I'm sure there's some sleepers in there that look like nothing to me that I'll be shocked by. But yeah, I got a good haul. It's going to take me a while. Not that I needed more postcards. But what I'm going to do is once or twice a week, I'm going to pull out a different album. I've got a little sticky note in there to show myself how much is in that album. So this one's got 99 in there. And I'll flip through them, show you what I have. We can talk about them. And then I'll get them listed. And we will work through that collection that way. I think what I'll do as well is I'll set up a separate Excel spreadsheet so I can track the items as they're listed, as they sell, and we can sort of maybe get a numerical look at. I've been rambling for almost 10 minutes now, so why don't we take a look at a few things? Alrighty. So this is what $60 worth of greeting cards, Asian postcard sets, and assorted random postcards and maps looks like. Again, this is Banker's Box. It is filled to the brim with greeting cards. So these are all the ones that I paired with envelopes. Some of them, the envelopes are obviously a little rough. With greeting cards, if I have an envelope that fits, I will add it to the listing. If it's an envelope with a color to it, or some of them, I don't know if I have, hold on a moment. Yeah. If it's one like this that has pattern to it, I will scan them and add it to the listing. And if they don't have a matching envelope, I will make sure I put in the description or the item condition that there is no envelope. I haven't had any issues yet. I don't find that the envelope adds any value to the listing. Like, I'm not going to get any extra money out of it, but it will. It does sometimes seem to make them sell a little faster. And then over here, here's a stack of cards that I haven't found envelopes for yet. These might just get listed as is. But in any case, the way I'm going to go through these to start is I'm going to go through and grab anything that I have duplicates of, because those are easy. I just do multi-quantity listing. And then anything that's Christmas related, because obviously we're coming into July here, so it's going to be Christmas in July, and, well, why not? We'll get it all up and ready for Q4. Alright, so I moved the greeting cards out of the way. This one, I'm not going to pull all of these out, but just give you an idea what's in here. Okay, so this is National Park. So, it's National Parks, but I guess they're not our national parks. Yeah, no, see? Imagine that. Other countries can have national parks. But yeah, so it's got all sorts of... sorry, I don't know how to film with one hand. So yeah, all sorts of cards in there. So these, what I'll probably end up doing is I'll just end up taking the cards out and listing the cards individually. That may sound like sacrilege to some people, but what are you? You look interesting. You look like a volcano. You will probably stay in my collection. Yeah, there's quite a few things in what I purchased this weekend that'll stay in my personal collection. But in any case, so there's a whole bunch of that. We got some loose cards. What are you? Faxed for farmers, fertilizers. That's interesting. Let's see. 1898. I'm sure that'll sell for a couple bucks. German card, I think. Prayer. A lot of extra random little things tossed in there. Cooperstown map. Anyways, you get the idea. So I think these are all Asian. Let's see, Beijing, so that's China. Italy, maybe? I am not up on foreign languages, so forgive me if I identify something a little wrong. Postcard book there. St. Michael's. These two, I'll look them up as a set. Ooh, masks. But typically with these, again, I know sacrilege, I usually split them apart. They sell faster. You get more money because you've broken them up, and because you break them up, you can use individual keywords for each individual card, which gets them better visibility. Alright, so this is the last of that $60 purchase. Again, they originally wanted $100 for it. While I'm at it, some of the greeting cards came in this crate. I googled the company, or not googled, I put the company into eBay and wasn't coming up with anything. So the basket itself may have some value. It's obviously a little dirty on the inside, but I don't know. I might try to sell that as well. Okay. But yeah, you see we got some old maps. This one's, I actually own this one. It's at my office at work. Geological map of New York. This one's got a little rough shape, but I don't know. I may keep this one in the car for field work, and then the other one in the lab, or I may sell it. I don't know. But a whole bunch of maps in there, local towns. We got some National Geographic stuff, which I bought some at another estate sale this year or late last year, I don't remember. Turns out these individually aren't worth much. I probably should just lot these with the ones I have and try to sell them as a lot and recoup some of the money. But I really hate doing that. I like selling things individually, but sometimes you just can't do that. Let's see. More maps. More of those Nat Geo stuff. More maps. But you can see there's also some postcards in here. There were a bunch of loose cards. Labels there. Colorado. What are you? Clear Creek Canyon somewhere. Undivided back. But yeah, so we got a small album was in here. Some cards. So this wasn't part of the 6,000 plus buy. This was part of the 60. Trains there. Interesting. Different things. I think there were a bunch of foreign ones in here. But in any case, it's part of a calendar. That's probably nothing I can do with that, but I look at everything beforehand. A lot of oversized cards and prints in here. Another greeting card. Another greeting card. So I guess I didn't get them all out of here into the banker's box yet. But see, we got some new stuff in here. 2022. Oh, that's another greeting card, right? Farmers. Yeah. But anyways, you get the idea. Bunch of greeting cards. Another postcard set. Looks like another Asian one, yep. Add that to the other pile. Let's see, another one here. Oh, I think these are oversized. Oversized can be good, yep. Nice. You know what this lot was? Gold! Maybe not. I'll do fine. I will certainly do fine. But this will take a while. But anyways, you got all sorts of stuff in here. And again, this was all part of that $60 buy. So this will be good. This will help with bring some of the costs down. These are interesting, these little panoramic postcards. I'm rambling. So let's move on to the stuff I handpicked day one. And we'll look at that, and then we'll call it a wrap. Alright, so at least by size in comparison, not as impressive. This is my $100 lot. I keep forgetting, I did get a whole bunch of used postcard supplies, so I got the top loaders. Those will be good for any more expensive cards. And there's a whole bunch of sleeves. These are used. So I will not use these to ship in, but I can use these to slap a SKU number on and use them for storage, and then save my nice ones for when I ship it to a customer. And so this alone, you know, as part of that $100, this is probably 50, 60 bucks worth of supplies right there alone, if not more. So that alone is pretty good. But let's see. Again, I can't do some of this one-handed, so I may have to pause. But to start off, there's a little wooden nickel. I don't think I've had a nickel before, but I have one that's like this, that is for World's Fair, that I couldn't find any comps for. So I have it up, I think, for like $20. It's been sitting there for a few months now. But in any case, a wooden nickel. Thought it was neat. A little toss-in. Let's see, can I do this one-handed? No. Let me pause it. Alright, so I have 3 of these, and they're these little rulers. Now, let's see, I got the right way, yeah. So this one's made in West Germany. It's boxwood, and yeah, I don't know. They seem neat. They got little leather carrying cases. They have different little advertising on the rulers themselves. I've done well with rulers and tools like that in the past, so I figured, why not toss them in. I'm sure they didn't really move the needle much on the lot. So some of these actually came from the boxes that I ended up eventually paying $60 for. You know, it's one of those things, if I thought about it, I could have left them in the box, made the deal, saved me some money, but, you know, it all works out in the wash. I'm not worried about it. You know, I want to keep working with this company in the future, so being on the good side doesn't hurt. We got a couple, there's I think 2 or 3 in here, real photo postcards. March 2022. I think that says Lamson, Anatolia, which I think is Turkey. I could be wrong on that. I'll need to look it up, or maybe one of you can let me know if you know better. But they look like sailors or something. I'll have to see if there's more information on those. I picked this one up because this is Panorama's Ukraine, which is different. Most of the Ukraine cards I have to date are all QSL cards, so they're a little bit slower. We got a World's Fair or World's Expo. Which one are you? Masonic Brotherhood Center, New York World's Fair, 64.65. I probably have this one already up for sale, but you know, if I can get a good price on them, I pick up the World's Fair. 2 Nippon dogs, which or Nipper dogs. I'm back in Japan. These are in Albany. I see it on the way to work, so had to pick that up. First day cover, space, so I'll have to check this. against my my collection first, see if I have it already. But 1969, so it is the year. So this one, I don't think I have this one. So this one will be staying with me. Let's see. Visitor Center at Geological and Nuclear Sciences. So this one might stay with me too. I don't know. I don't keep everything geology related, but I do keep a bunch. This one's neat. It's a fold out card. Trifold. You get the idea. Where is this one? Yeah, Red Rock Canyon. I think in Colorado, right? Oh, no. It's near Las Vegas, so different Red Rocks. But in any case, neat. We got a glitter card, embossed, birthday. Tower Oaks Lodge. Mining or something? Whatever. She looks fun. She's a greeting card. Ooh. So I will, spoilers for the haul ahead. I have a bunch like this with the fabric added to it, embroidery and so forth. So I always price these high, but I've also not sold one, so I probably have mine overpriced, but I like them, so I basically list them at the, you need to, you know, pull them from my hands kind of price. We got a stereo card. This one's thin. I've never seen one so thin before. They've always been the thicker cards. But in any case, we got a Ferris wheel. 1893. Volcano book. I don't know if I'll keep it or sell it. I'll probably try selling it. I don't necessarily need this, but I couldn't leave it behind because rocks. Alright, this one I love and hate. It's lenticular, which is great. World Trade Center, amazing. I always do well with those. We got the pyramids of Giza. We got the moon. Or is that Earth? We got celestial figure. I can't tell through the phone here. But we also got a huge insert expletive crease. It's almost fallen off. But anyways, I took it. We'll see. I will try to sell it. Or at least I'll look it up. Maybe it'll just stay in my collection. Let's see. Little St. Patrick's Day. At least that's how I'll advertise it. We got Good Luck with Clover. Cupid card. I think it's a repro, but still it's standard size. Restaurant. One of these little, again, fabric-y, not fabric, thread, like embroidery add-ons there. It's got some ribbons. Merry Christmas. Got some fruits and vegetables. Can't go wrong with those. More fabric. I have no idea. Art Deco, abstract-y kind of thing. Easter, got some plans. I'll try to move through a little faster on the postcards because I actually got some other interesting things in here that are not postcards. This one was neat. This is Woodstock. So, look at that one. Some green cards. I think those are all some more Asian panoramic postcards. But here is some interesting stuff. So I got some CDVs. I'll have to check out the writing on the back, but they all do appear to be identified. Young woman here. I do like the CDVs. I've had some good luck with them. Some lovely ladies here. No ID. Some more folks. I got a couple cabinet cards. Whole bunch of information on there as I throw it. Lady. Where's the good stuff? Oh, here's the moneymaker right there. Look at all them pooches and party hats. This is the moneymaker. Pays for the whole lot. Kiddos. Oh, look at those ski outfits. There's some of that rock collection that I didn't buy. Information there. Cards. Another cabinet. Jolly old crew on Christmas. I think there was a year on this, right? Christmas 1943. I'm having a grand old time. Look, that guy. That guy's having the best fun right in the middle there. More cabinet cards. ID'd on the back. Now, let me hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I hate that I had to skip through, but this is probably my longest video I have posted at this point. But so, priest. I got some priests, some old priests. Start off, CDV card. It is identified on the back. I have to figure out what that name means. I can read cursive. I did learn cursive. The messier the cursive, the better I can read it. My dad has really neat cursive writing, and I struggle with it. Anyways, I think I can sort that one out. But in any case, young priest. Same priest when he's older as real photo postcard. Same name up there. And then, I think this is probably in between, but photo on board, not ID'd, but you can tell that's the same Joe. And then there's this priest. I don't think he's the same Joe. I don't think his name's actually Joe. I'm just saying Joe. Let me know. Do you think that's the same guy? I guess that could be in between age. I did check the back of the image. There is no ID on it. I didn't see anything written on there. So I thought that was pretty neat. I think that's probably the best out of the lot. And we got some nice photos here. Information written on the back. I'll have to read that up. Hand tinted, hand color. This one's on a board. Couple kids there. We already did those. And then these are interesting too. These are basically like cabinet card material, but they're postcards and they got some interesting art on them. So, anyways. Yeah, so I went to go find the cats for a closing segment, but my nephew was over earlier and my cats are not used to having company, so I think they're still hiding. But in any case, so what I showed you today was basically 160 bucks for the greeting cards and all that ephemera, and then over 6,000 plus postcards that I will show you over the next several weeks, however long it takes me to get through them all. Again, I'll do little videos, maybe one, maybe two albums at a time, and then I'll get those cards listed and we'll move on to the next one. So let me know what you think below. Did I make a good deal on what you saw today? And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.